Senator Coons.
Thank you, Chair Mary, and thank you both to our witnesses today for your leadership in America's energy security and for delivering on the promise of landmark legislation, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the bipartisan infrastructure law. You are really delivering a next-generation energy future for America. And since the last time we held this budget hearing, Delaware and the Mid-Atlantic region have been selected for one of the hydrogen hubs, which has potential to be transformational for my region and to give it an opportunity to really participate in the hydrogen economy of the future. We have several iconic Delaware companies that are at the leading edge of electrolyzer technology, and we have 3 oil refineries at the head of the Delaware Bay in 3 states that are committed to a transformation towards hydrogen production and deployment if we can get this right. Madam Secretary, how are you making sure that each of the hubs gets the support and the flexibility they need to achieve liftoff? I'm concerned about flexible matching requirements in particular so that we can not just put out a big grant announcement, but actually strike the right balance between private sector partners, public sector investment, and getting hydrogen secured as a next generation fuel.
Yeah, this is such an important issue. We want these hubs to succeed, and we know we have to carve this with a scalpel and not with an axe. The 45V requirements, I know, have been put out. We have received 20 or 30,000 comments from stakeholders on all sides and Treasury, and with the assistance of DOE, we are wading through the comments to make sure that we get it right. Suffice it to say, the Biden administration is deeply invested in making a hydrogen economy successful in this country. We are, I can tell you, in meeting with all of my counterparts across the world, we are really the envy of the world because we have such a diverse array of hydrogen, of inputs for these hydrogen hubs. So we are looking at it, we're evaluating, and we want to get it right.
Thank you. In our particular case, I worry about a cash flow crunch in terms of what's the timing of the matching requirements, and I want to make sure we get this right, and I very much look forward to working with you on that. CHIPS and Science also helped authorize a new foundation for your department, FESI, the Foundation for Energy Security and Innovation, which is a tool many other federal agencies and entities have used to attract and deploy private sector funding. In fact, I was thrilled that in part because of funding from this subcommittee, there was the announcement of the inaugural board of directors a few weeks ago. What are the key challenges facing the Department of Energy that you think would benefit from public-private partnership, from philanthropic capital and coordination?
Yeah, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for your leadership on this. I know this has been in the works for a long time, and there was such a sense of joy when we finally announced the board members, and it was funded to be able to get it launched. I know the board is, it's a mixture of people with a variety of talents, and so they're interested in the spectrum of things that they might be helpful on. But I do know there is a wealth of opportunity in the space of taking ideas from labs to commercialization. And so helping those and getting a sense of the spectrum from all of the various labs, I mean, there's just it's so rich in that environment. They're very interested in leaning in on that. So I think that is a very big way they can help. I'd say there's one other way that's not so technically involved, which is to help us think through and maybe help to supply technical assistance to, for example, tribes and other areas, rural areas where the region might not, is not equipped to be able to navigate the bureaucracy of the federal government to apply for a grant or a loan. So those kinds of things, they're looking at the vast array of it, but thank you so much for giving us this assist at the department, even though it's totally independent and bipartisan. It'll be a great assist to the department going well into the future.
My most bipartisan bill in this area is the Prove It Act with Senator Kramer that has 14 bipartisan co-sponsors, and it just advanced out of EPW, I think by a vote of 14-5 in January. And NETL, the whole suite of national labs will be critical to gathering data about emissions intensity. Any thoughts you want to share about what resources you might need as a department? Obviously, Commerce, USTR, State, EPA, there'd be a whole range of participants, but it would really be DOE-led. Any thoughts about what actually gathering emissions intensity data to advance industrial decarbonization might look like for the department?
Well, I hope the authorizers and the appropriators come together on providing some resources to make this happen. But the bottom line is I think it's an incredibly important bill for our competitive advantage. If we're manufacturing products, we need to know what that footprint looks like. And this is one way to be able to do that and to keep it updated. So thank you for your leadership on it. I can see why it's so overwhelmingly supported.
And I'm simply going to reinforce what two of my colleagues said. The domestic transformer manufacturing bottleneck is something I hear about constantly from the Delaware Electric Co-op. And Senator Shaheen's been a leader as long as I've been here on contracting and energy efficiency. And in my previous role in FSGG, I try to give some lift to performance contracting. Anything I could do to be helpful, I'd like to. Thank you for your forbearance, Madam Chair.
Yes. Senator Heinrich, do you have additional questions?
Sure. Thank you.